Welcome back to Anxiety Slayer. I'm Shan here with my good friend and co-host Ananga. Together we share supportive tools and practices to help you calm anxiety and live more peacefully. Today we're exploring one of our favorite seasonal rituals, a deeply nourishing Ayurvedic practice that helps calm anxious energy as we move into the colder, darker months. And it's what we lovingly call oiling up. Also known as self-massage with warm oil or Abhyanga. Hey Ananga, how you doing?
Hey, Shan.
One of our favorite things to do this time of year, and we haven't talked about it in a while, so I'm glad we're bringing it back to the fore.
Yeah, this came up for me, as you know, a few days ago. I woke up in the morning and I had tinnitus. So I immediately went and put some oil in my ears. I have a lovely oil here from a friend of mine that she made me, a special blend. Put some oil in my ears and I was massaging my ears and I was thinking, I'm really not so comfortable having tinnitus. I've had it periodically for many years on and off, but this was quite persistent. I got up early to meditate and I could hear what sounded like a car alarm very faintly in the distance. And I was thinking, oh, I hope somebody turns that off soon. And then I realized there was no turning it off. I've sort of covered my eyes and it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
it's tinnitus. And it's a different sound to before. So I was grateful I knew what to do. So I put some oil in my ears, massaged around my ears, and it eased. And then it got me thinking, last time Shan and I recorded an episode, you were sharing how you favor oil massage for self-care, for feeling grounded. And I was thinking it might be good to share our experience with how much it helps to understand the application of oil for anxiety, for anxiety-related experiences, for fall, for winter. It's such an easy thing to do and such a helpful thing to do. I remember years ago helping a family member who had been through a very difficult time and they were struggling with their nerves. And so I shared with her to put some oil up your nose and in your ears. And one day she was staying with us and she just walked towards me. She was kind of dripping with oil. She'd put so much. And she said, I can't tell you how much this is helping me. It's helping me so much. So she was really going for it with the oil. So yeah, I was thinking it was timely to share.
Mm. And definitely this time of year, autumn into winter, does call for extra nourishment for our bodies. And oiling up is one of the best things that we can do at this time. About why that is based on what you've learned over the years in Ayurveda?
In Ayurveda, this seasonal shift is understood to increase Vata, this shift into autumn. And Vata is the dosha responsible for movement. And it's usually the dosha implicated in anxiety. When Vata goes up, our anxiety can increase. It can make our mind feel scattered. We can feel ungrounded. We can feel like our thoughts are racing a bit, looping a bit. So anything that helps us feel grounded and nourished is a good thing to do. And there's lots of simple ways we can do that for ourselves. And if we look at the qualities of autumn and the qualities of Vata, they're very similar. So Ayurveda teaches that like increases like. So autumn is cold, dry. We have the movement of the air. It feels rough. Our skin becomes more rough. It's light. The leaves are light and crispy and blowing around. So these are all qualities that you see in Vata. And the reason oil is so helpful is it's the complete opposite, especially if it's warm oil. It's heavy and lubricating and grounding. So oil is the opposite to all of those things that get elevated in the autumn. So it's a natural remedy by applying gentle opposites.
And there's also the emotional benefits of oiling up. One of the things we hear so often from our listeners is how heightened their anxiety is this time of year. And with the dimming of the light, more rushing around before the holidays, the stress that comes up with that, the wind that's in the air, our bodies are craving stillness and coziness and comfort. And so oiling up is truly like offering yourself a big, loving, steadying hug. And anyone who's reached out that has picked up this practice and given it a whirl continues on and tells us how grateful they are for the practice to come back into their body, to come back into that place of feeling more balanced.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these emotional benefits include feeling a sense of calm and relaxation and safety, definitely feeling more connected to your body. The more we oil up, the more we massage, the more we move our bodies, the more connected we are. This also will slow down racing thoughts, and it's a natural boost in serotonin. It's a natural boost in your well-being. So even a few minutes of warm oil on your skin will invite your whole nervous system to settle. I use it now before heading out to Lake Michigan, which I take walks on Lake Michigan as often as I possibly can. And because it's so windy now and the temperatures are cooler, I make sure that I oil up my ears and my nose and my belly button. And I put that hat on and sometimes a hoodie over the hat. Even if my body doesn't need that much warmth, I really look after my ears, look after my head, and I can still enjoy being out there versus suffering when I come back. But there's nothing quite like that air kind of blowing through your ears and realizing that, this isn't good.
Yeah, it can make areas ache. It can increase our anxiety. If the cold goes into the ears, it very readily goes into our jaw. It can give us headaches. And Vata lives in the spaces in the body. So that's why we put oil in our ears. And, it sounds funny putting oil in your belly button, but the belly button's a very important little space. And when we oil there, there's a very definite sense of grounding and protection. And it's just a very good routine to get into anyway, but especially at this time of year, going into autumn and winter. So when we put oil in our ears, it's very protective from the dryness and the cold. The oil should be a little warm.
We haven't mentioned that we're talking about sesame oil this time of year. And I mean, you can use other oils, but sesame is on the top of our list. I use sesame this time of year, and I use coconut oil in the summertime. There's special blends. We often buy our oils from Banyan Botanicals. You should know that if you're listening and you're wondering, like, what kind of oil do I use?
Yeah. In the UK, I use essential Ayurveda now for oils. I used to get all my oils from Pucker, but I'm not sure if that's possible now. But in the US, definitely I recommend Banyan Botanicals. And have a look around on their website. They've got lots of oil blends and lots of information.
They have a wonderful oil that I use for my hair.
Aha.
It's really good for your scalp and really good for this time of year, of course. And I don't remember what the Ayurvedic term is for oiling your third eye and the top of your head.
Oh, Shirodhara. Yes.
That's a beautiful practice.
Pouring warm oil. Yeah, they have this amazing machine that warms and trickles oil, and you lay back. I've not experienced it, but I'd love to. You lay back and it trickles warm, sometimes medicated oil between your eyebrows, that area there, and it just runs back over your head. It's so soothing for the nervous system. It's key remedial practice of Ayurveda.
Even if you can't do that particular beautiful act of self-care, you can definitely still oil up.
Yeah, you can massage that area. Just apply some oil to your fingertips and take some deep breaths and massage around. And you mentioned sesame oil. The reason sesame oil is favored is because it's warming. So it's really good for Vata body types and the colder seasons. And coconut oil is cooling. So really good for summer and Pitta types. But if you look on Banyan Botanicals, they've got articles as well as their lovely products. I find their information really good. So yeah, applying oil to the body, it improves our circulation as well. It helps relieve pain in the joints. It helps the joints and tendons feel lubricated, helps the body feel less stiff. It helps remove toxins from the body, helps our sleep, helps our immunity, especially if you have a little oil between your shoulders, just a little covering of oil um, before you go out in the cold wind that protects your back from taking in the cold draft. So many benefits. And, there's also various degrees of involvement, how much time we have. Sometimes we might think, I haven't got time to do that. Then find a mini version.
Like what I mentioned earlier, the mini version is getting your ears and nostrils, belly button oiled up before going out in the world.
Yeah. And this morning, I oiled my head. And sometimes I'll do it before I go to bed. And I'll just put an old towel on the pillow and leave the oil in overnight. And sometimes I'm not in the space to do that. I just want to go to sleep straight away.
Sure.
So, for example, this morning I used Brahmi oil because I wanted some more mental support, peace and clarity. The easiest way for me to do that was to just, after I'd taken my breakfast, oil my head, really have a nice massage, then meditate on that being an act of self-care. And then I just set a timer for 3 hours and washed it out.
Nice.
It's just finding what works for you.
This episode of Anxiety Slayer is sponsored by ASEA, breakthrough technology that is helping so many create miracles. As an athlete, Scott was sidelined by a tick bite that led to years of struggle. For 8 long years, he battled symptoms that made him feel helpless. He consulted numerous doctors and tried countless remedies, but nothing worked. His condition only worsened, and the challenges were terrifying. He struggled with brain fog, ringing in his ears, discomfort in his feet and joints, and even facial numbness. Everyday tasks felt impossible, and being unable to work affected his family profoundly. Scott felt like his daughter lost her dad, and his wife lost her husband because he just couldn't function. Then Scott heard about ASEA. Skeptical, he decided to give it a chance. Within 2 weeks, a heavy weight lifted, his mental clarity returned, and memories once lost began flooding back. After 3 months on ASEA, most of his symptoms had completely vanished. Scott could finally return to working out, and to his astonishment, he ran a mile without any knee discomfort. This transformation ignited Scott's passion to help others suffering from similar debilitating issues. He wants everyone to know that there is hope and healing. ASEA truly changed Scott's life in miraculous ways, and it can do the same for you. Discover how ASEA can help you experience your own breakthrough by visiting ASEAglobal.com/JuliaTreat. Use the promo code JuliaTreat in all caps to receive 10% off your first order. Save even more by getting one of ASEA's bundles with a savings of over 40% today. Go to ASEAglobal.com/JuliaTreat and get ready for miracles. In this part of the episode, I'm going to share how to practice oiling up and this beautiful ritual that can be daily, or it can be once a week, or whatever it is that you can fit into your schedule, because you do need some time with this practice. And what you need to begin with is a warming oil, like we mentioned, organic sesame oil, if you have some. Other people use sunflower, almond oil. Those are other choices that you have, but we really think sesame is the best. You want to make sure you have a towel that you don't mind getting oily. If you've got an old towel that can be just used for this practice, because you are going to get oil on things, and if you have a nice set of towels, you don't want to ruin them with the oil. And then, of course, you want your space to be nice and warm. And then you begin. So you warm up some oil, and I would recommend probably about 1/4 of a cup is probably plenty. And you start with your scalp, and you just massage in your scalp with circular motions and just cover your entire head. And while you're doing that, notice to relax your jaw and just allow your face to relax and your scalp to receive the oil. And then you start working down the body with long strokes on your limbs and circular strokes around the joints, and just being really loving and sweet with yourself. And you don't need a lot of oil. That's why I mentioned a quarter cup is fine. You're just putting it on your fingertips and massaging. And if you need more, you can always get more. You want to spend some time and give some extra love to your feet. This is really going to help you with anxiety. This is going to help you if you have headaches. This is going to bring the energy down to your feet. And then you want to make sure that you have some socks that you can put on, again, that you don't mind getting oiled up, and so that you can relax and just allow the oil to soak into your body for as long as you can. If 10 minutes works for you, do 10 minutes. 20 minutes or longer, whatever works for you. That might be a good time to do some deep breathing. It might be some time to do some reading or listening to music and just really being in that space of like a spa that you've created for yourself where you're just relaxing and so nice. And then when you're ready, you can shower or take a bath to rinse the oil off. And don't scrub it off. Let it just gently come off naturally with the water, keeping some of that oil on your skin. A gentle wash is plenty. Again, if you're taking a shower, you might want to put something on the floor of the tub to help you with your balance so that you're not slippy. If you did put oil on the bottom of your feet. Or sometimes what I'll do is I'll sit on the side of the tub and I'll wash my feet, and I will wash them more than I do my body. It's to make sure that I don't slip. Anyway, even 5 minutes of doing this makes a notable difference. And it's just such a gift to give, even if you just did it once a week. Even if you chose Sunday, for instance, is your day for a full body oiling up. Oh my goodness, you're going to love it so much.
Thank you so much. I think it's important. We reference Abhyanga a lot, but it's important to share. If you were with a friend, it'd be like, well, how do you do it? We sometimes need the details, and along with the testimony that it's a very helpful experience. I heard somebody say a while ago that if you're suffering with anxiety or your nervous system, oil massage is 50% of the problem eased.
And that's huge.
Yeah, very helpful and nice to know that there's something we can do for ourselves. And I also recommend looking into Nasya oil. I have a friend who makes oil blends, and she made me a beautiful blend of Nasya oil. So that's an oil that is a mixture of a base oil, a carrier oil, often sesame, with some other herbs that are very good for the nervous system. And you lay down and tip your head back, or sort of put a pillow under your neck so your head's gently tipped back, and then put a couple of drops in each nostril and rest with that. So that was my other tinnitus maneuver. It's like, okay, oil in the ears, oil up the nose, and resting.
And a few additional tips for calming winter vata include pairing your oiling ritual with warm drinks like cinnamon tea, which I love, or ginger tea, or if you have a weighted blanket or some extra blankets when you're resting to just really burrow in, to keep your ears and your head warm when you're outside. I know I already mentioned that, but as we know, vata enters easily through the ears. So we want to make sure, whether it's earmuffs or whether it's a hat or two, with the hoodie and a hat, or whatever you can, protect your ears.
Yeah, again, finding what works for you. At this time of year, I often wear a hat indoors, not a top hat.
Cowboy hat? How about a cowboy hat, Ananga?
A cowboy hat. When I get up to meditate at 4:30 a.m., I put a cowboy hat on. It helps me focus. But I have a few different, woolly, we call them beanies in the UK, beanie hats. And I've got different ones with different degrees of warmth. And I've got one that's really nice for the autumn. It's just a bit snug around my ears when I get up first thing in the morning. And there's something about that. Just a little bit of covering over my ears, a little bit of very gentle pressure there, as well as the warmth. I find it soothing.
Yeah.
And then I have one that's a bit thicker, and it's supposed to be a thermal hat. That's more for outside wear, but I've got 2 or 3 for different occasions, different needs. But it's really important to keep our ears warm. And along with the oil, that is the other key word in Ayurveda, and our listeners will have heard us say this so many times: warm and oily, warm bedding, little extra weight on the bedding also, but warmth is, the vata is cold. It's a cold dosha. So warm meals is not a time for iced drinks. It's never really a time for iced drinks according to Ayurveda, but certainly at this time of year, we want warm drinks, warm soupy meals.
Yeah, I'm moving away from my smoothies, even though I've gotten very used to that's my first meal of the day, and then I have dinner, and that's it. And now I realize that my body's telling me that that's not what we want. So I need to start getting my Instapot back out and taking care of things that way, just switching things up.
Yeah, seasonal switch, which is also part of Ayurveda's self-care teachings. We talk a lot about dinacharya, the daily care and daily routine, but there's also ritucharya, which is seasonal care, adjusting with the seasons. And it serves us well to really get informed about that. And it doesn't have to be a big deal. It can be just such a natural thing.
Sure.
Adding a little more ginger to our teas and our meals. Just find ways that you can easily incorporate what's supportive into your day. It doesn't need to be overwhelming. It doesn't need to take a lot of time.
Yes. Well, I'd like to close up today with just a little guided moment of calm and relaxation. So if you'll humor me, let's just take a moment together and place your hands on your heart and soften your shoulders and your jaw. Take a long, deep breath in through your nose, and then a slow breath out through your mouth. And again, breathing in, and then sigh it out. And imagine yourself wrapped in a soft blanket, a warm, soft blanket, knowing that you are safe, you are supported, and that your body knows how to restore itself. Trust that. Thank you so much, Ananga. And thank you for listening to Anxiety Slayer. We hope you'll try this beautiful oiling up practice and feel its soothing benefits this winter. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who might need some extra comfort right now. And remember, you can find all of our guided anxiety relief tools and resources at anxietyslayer.com and at our Patreon at patreon.com/anxietyslayer. Together, we're slaying anxiety, one calming breath and one warm drop of oil at a time.